Welcome to your Saturday night entertainment. It is the All Four Back podcast, episode 98, giving you all the action and reaction from the past week of STS activities. I'm, of course, Chester 430, joined as always by Hadlington. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, all.
A very good evening to Shads.
Hello, everyone.
And a good evening
Hello.
to Tank.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
So it is a full house tonight, chaps, on the, I say it's the penultimate show of the season. Episode 98 of season 21. On tonight's program, we have the review of the Neil Potter Shield Grand Final second leg between the Spartans and the Dragons. We also have On This Day with Shad replacing the Rider of the Week. Runner-up teams review, which is the Hastings Dragons by Alan McNally with our guest for the evening, Cam. And then, of course, we have the all-important World Championship Grand Final preview taking place on Sunday at Halifax. So without any further ado, let's crack straight on with the action. And it is a congratulations to the Peterborough Spartans as they took a 103-89 aggregate victory against the Hastings Dragons to clinch the Neil Potter Shield for season 21. The Dragons came into the match with a 2-point deficit, which was immediately wiped clean after a 5-1 opening heat by Stefan and a man certainly on form, which was Haddington 83. Shads, I'm going to bring you in if I can, bud. Great win for the Spartans. I guess that first leg that we commentated on wasn't enough for the Dragons to hold on.
No, the Dragons had to get off to a good start to make the Spartans think a bit, but it couldn't have got off to a worse start for them, really, with that 5-1 in the opening heat. And we all know how tough it is to beat these guys, especially on their own track. The Dragons just happened to run into an inspired Ads with a superb 5-ride maximum, and Hadlington, who was close to 1-2. I was rooting for him in his last race to get that maximum, but he got beaten up at the gate and couldn't make any inroads. Dragons, they couldn't really cope with missing 101. Their guest locker hardly made a dent, really. It was always going to be a tall order for the Dragons. I said before the first leg that they would need a 20-point lead coming here. 2 points was never going to be enough, and I'm sure they knew it deep down. But fair play to them for giving it a go, though. And they weren't embarrassed like most of the sides that have come to Peterborough this season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the Spartans felt charitable at the end, giving the Saucy and Allen heat 16, so the Spartans could have probably hit 60 points.
Yeah, but I say it was a valiant effort by the Dragons against the Spartans. Of course, no love lost between them, of course, as we all know. And of course, the Dragons missing 2 riders from the middle order, had to draft in Dret Lotka, the unattached guest, and also league guest Cappy from the Panthers, scoring 4 and 5 respectively. I will bring in Hads. Mr. Haddington, a league and Neil Potter Shield double. A good end to a season for yourself, mate. I mean, you were unbeaten in your first 4 rides. I mean, what happened in that last race of yours?
I thought you wanted to talk about the other forwards then, Dan. Bloody hell.
He hasn't watched it.
To be fair, the first round, even in the chat, Squall said I was like, I had Stephen's arse on for that race and blocked him all the time. And then he happened to go in the grass, and Stefan slowed down on the last bend and let me win. But the fourth race, I had another good one with Squall. Somehow didn't go off the track on the outside on the line. But that last heat, I just got sandwiched in between Cam and Dret Locker on the one, and then I got my angles wrong coming out the last bend on the run to the line, and Cam beat me. But it's no disrespect losing to those two. I mean, they are both our GP riders, obviously, as well. So yeah, but got the job done, and to restrict the Dragons to just 3 heat wins in 16 heats is something. No, sorry, it's 4. I think it was. Sorry, is, well, I don't know, just something else. And the team just kept going and going. I mean, even Alan there at the bottom, 2 points. He was on the pace. I mean, if you watch the heats, he was on the pace every single race. And Ads actually mentioned in on the Spartans page on Facebook that if it wasn't for Alan, some of the heats just battling with the other guys, which allowed him to get clear, then he wouldn't have got that maximum. So I think it's definitely an all-round team effort for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people overlook that in a team. You know, I'd rather not scoring points, but the score chart doesn't always tell the full story. I mean, Alan usually gates pretty well, and he can do you can hold other riders up to allow your partner to go. So you're right there, Hads. It's an overlooked skill.
Now,
I
of
think
course, we do have.
by the last race, I actually woke up as well by the last race, so that's probably why I'll come last.
Yeah. Tell us a story again.
Care to elaborate with that one, Hats?
Well, yeah, Sunday, obviously, if some of you know, I played darts, so I had a final on Sunday afternoon. Had a few, not too many beverages. Went home, had something to eat. I thought I'll have a quick nap. Put my alarm on. Obviously, my alarm never went off, and then 8:10, I'm getting a message saying, "Where are you?" So it's a good job I did. Lest I'd still be asleep now, probably. To be fair,
You didn't set it on the calculator by mistake, did you?
the calculator.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I was trying to add up my average and knock some points off for next season.
No,
but it's not
there's
happening.
a meme on like social media. It has a guy that has a calculator, and he goes, "No wonder my alarm didn't go off." And it was a calculator where it said put the timing rather than on the alarm clock.
How many pies did you have?
4 or 5. About 4 or 5, I think.
Oh, standard.
But yeah, I won 2 finals in one day, so it was happy days.
Yeah,
Nice one.
and a fair play you had as well. Of course, we're going to have the Spartans review next week as the final show of the series. But just a quick overall overview of your season, had. I mean, like I said, league and Neil Potter Shield winner. Job well done, isn't it?
And the rest, come on.
And the rest, yeah, and the rest. Was it pairs?
14 tournaments,
knockout cup. I guess it's a successful season for you, mate, wasn't it?
That's greedy,
it's
isn't
not
it?
bad at all, really. To be honest, if I could change one of them for finishing in the top 3, obviously it would be the league title because that was the first one. But maybe I don't know, just to get in that top 3 with that race. I can't even remember where it was now. That last round, the STS with that dodgy referee. But yeah, no.
Oh yeah,
Oh dear. Well, like I said, we will have the.
How about was it? What meeting was it where Heppel beat you on the line or something? Was it
RRC?
Was that the reserve?
Yeah, the RRC. Yeah,
that was the run to the line where he had you, and then you had him, and he got you on the very last run to the line.
Yeah, that was good. That was good, to be fair.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
Well, if there was the rider of the week this week, you'd have got it, I reckon. But we haven't got that this week, so unfortunately, you got to wait until next season.
Unlucky.
But yes, we will have the Spartans review on next week's show. We've got Dragons tonight. So that was a great win for the Spartans. Clean sweep of trophies this year, by the sounds of it. And we'll get that into detail next week. Now we swap gears and we talk about. We normally have rider of the week this week, but due to only being one match, we've had a bit of a mix-up. So tonight it's an on this day with Mr. Shad. So it's all yours, my friend.
Yeah, this week we go back 5 years to season 15 and the 14 tournament semi-finals held at Turkey Lane. The first thing that strikes me is how many of these names we've lost from the game in such a short time. Secondly, the Brewers 4 is ridiculous. I mean, you can understand why they finished just 2 points behind the eventual league winners, which was the Leicester Dragons in the league that season. The Brewers went on to dominate the final, which was held on the Thursday, 4 days later.
Crazy. We were just looking back at past results before the podcast started, and it was weird seeing all the different names and results and going through who's won what and who's done this, and
Well, another problem is some of these really old meetings. There's no spreadsheet; they've been deleted, or you've got no access. I found about 2 or 3 meetings that I could have had, but there's no spreadsheet for them. You click on the link and it says spreadsheet deleted or files deleted or needs permission. The newer ones are okay, but the older ones where the people that ref aren't around anymore. I mean, I found referees like Captain Pie and refereed and Maverick refereed, but they haven't got the files aren't there. So you can't do it on this day without a spreadsheet. No point.
Yeah.
Very
But,
true.
yeah, a very interesting 4-team tournament there. So now we have the next of our team reviews, and it is the team that finished runner-up in the season's league, and that is the Hastings Dragons. And we have a special presentation by Mr. Alan McNally.
This is the Hastings Dragons Season 20 review. So this is the start of season averages. Team looks pretty good on paper with Stephen 101 on an 859, Wolfie on a 761, Cam on a 704, Skoll the skipper on a 635, David No Fear on a 595, Badger Racing on a 379, and Reese on a 3. This team looks like a team that's definitely going to improve as the season goes on. And yeah, and it did, to be fair. Most of them did improve. So we move on to the biggest loss of the season, which came on the road when they came to the Spartans at Peterborough in week 5 of the league. They led right up to Heat 8 of that match when they were winning 22 points to 20 until a 5-1 from DL Shaw and all fullback star Hadlington 83 meant their lead of 2 points turned into a deficit of 2 points, and that's where the downfall began for the Dragons, in which they would end up losing the match 53 points to 43. Despite the loss, Skoll gave a captain's performance, top scoring on 11 plus 2 from 7 rides. Good performance from the Dragons in that match, just a bit unlucky in the second half. But yeah, apart from that, I don't think they had really any other massive losses in the season. As we look on to their biggest win of the season, they had 3 big wins, which I thought I should mention, which was their 61-35 win over the Wolves in week 11, the 64-32 win in League 3 against the Panthers. However, the biggest win for them came in week 20 of the league when they faced Milton Keynes at home. They had a grand total of 9 5-1s, 2 4-2s, and 5 3-3s to go on to demolish the Cowboys 68 points to 28 in a match which, actually, believe it or not, I was doing double duty that night, testing for the Wolves and then for my own team, the Spartans. But yeah, that was a tough night for Cowboys that night. Not many race wins and not many points on the board, but Dragons showed what they could do at home and what they had been doing all season. So next we have the league table. Dragons finishing second in the league, managing just 28 points this season, which is phenomenal. Only losing out on top spot by 3 points in their only league match loss, which was to Spartans, but a great performance from Dragons this season. I'm sure they can't be too downhearted at that. And yeah, it was what a season from Dragons. Had we not had the team we had at Spartans, I reckon they would have won that league hands down. But yeah, and then we'll move on to their final averages, and what an increase from some of their riders. Skoll increasing up by 2.28, go up to an 863 average. Cam going up to an 841 average, up by 1.37. Stephen 101, the only decrease of that team, going down to an 840. Wolfie up to an 809. That's 4 riders so far and over an 8 average. Wolfie increasing on a 0.48. David No Fear going over to a 6 point, nearly 7 on an increase of 8.9. Badger Racing, what an increase of 2.9 up to a 669. But the biggest increase has to go to Reese, and an increase of 357. I've seen nothing like it. Go from a 3 average up to a 657. What a season that man has had. So we'll move on now to the Knockout Cup and 4-team tournament and the pairs. The Knockout Cup tournament started and ended in the semi-finals. They got a bye into the semis, meaning they didn't ride in the quarterfinals. However, in the semi-final, they faced the Spartans. And they got a good win on that match, a 61-35 win at home against the Spartans. However, when they went to Spartans, they got beat 64-32. But to only lose that tie by 6 points was incredible, considering what they were up against. So fair play to Dragons. In terms of the 4-team tournament, they got a bye into the final, along with Spartans for being the top two. However, a bad run in the final, just 14 points between their 4 riders, meaning they finished 4th place on the night. As for the pairs and reserve pairs, there were mixed fortunes. In the normal pairs, they scored 19 points and were joint last with the Cowboys, and in the reserve pairs, they finished in 3rd on 22 points.
So that was the Hastings Dragons team review. And as always, we have a guest from the team we review. And tonight we welcome in Mr. Cam. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. How are we?
Not too bad, mate. How you getting on?
Very well, very well. Excited to be on.
Good. Yeah, thanks for coming on, mate. I know it was a bit of a last-minute thing for you, but I think the first thing I got to ask you, obviously, I believe you were the golden pick for the Dragons this season, going in as defending champions from the previous season, moving from the Scorchers to the Dragons. There was a lot of, let's say, Squall wanted a competitive team to maintain that league title they won last season. How much of an impact do you think when he signed you that you were going to bring to the team that year?
Well, I knew I was in, I think it was Group 3 at the time. So to be a golden pick was, in my opinion, from what I've been able to bring to the team, quite a good choice, not to toot my own horn too much. But I felt I was able to bring in not so much experience, but I was always able to like help people find the lines on the tracks. I was always one asking to host or be in practice as much as possible to get us obviously as much experience on the away tracks. Yeah, I was really pleased to get a golden pick off of him. I did also receive one from Wolves, but I wanted to try something new, and I knew they were coming off the back of a win, and he said that he was looking to do the double, which unfortunately we were not able to do.
Yes, I was looking at the team that they had. The next one I want to talk about is the track selection. Now, of course, when this track was said, obviously Hastings, a lot of controversy was surrounding that track. Of course, the way that the track was laid out. What was your thoughts on that selection? Were you happy? Were you disappointed? Where it's a case of this could be our home track and we can get a good advantage on it, or what was going through your mind when it was selected?
I think the other 6 people really liked it, and I was the only one to not enjoy it, which might sound a bit surprising now, as it's one of my favourite tracks now. But we were between Edinburgh, Swindon, and Hastings, and I was all for Edinburgh, to be honest. And I was not disappointed, but I was a bit scared when we picked Hastings, obviously because of the shape. But I was able to get used to it in the end and felt really confident. But at the time, I knew we'd have a good advantage on it, but just a bit nervous to ride it, to be honest.
Of course, you had some big wins at home, and of course, went for the entire season at home unbeaten. Of course, the only dip on the away form was those Spartans defeats. You faced the Spartans quite a few times this season, I must admit.
Yeah.
And going to that Neil Potter. Well, actually, I want to talk about the KO Cup match first. You had that big lead from leg 1, but to lose it on the very last race of the second leg, that must have been a real kick in the guts for you.
Yeah, I don't really want to even think about remembering that.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, I don't even know what to say about that. Obviously, we were trying really hard that night. I know I got a few points, but I was chucking away points myself. And I remember in the Heat 16, it was me and Squall against Steph and Ads, and Ads flew out the gate. And at that point, I was just like, oh, what's the point? I think I caught him in the end, almost got Steph on the line. But yeah, it was a tough thing to experience, actually being in the last race, just sort of watching your hopes be crushed sort of thing. But
it's never good.
Yeah. No, they always just got the better of us away. Just one of those things.
And then, of course, going into that Neil Potter Shield final as well with them, and then having that first leg where you were up by like 19 points, and then only winning by 2. I mean, again, it must have been a real downer for you guys, knowing that you had the advantage in that first leg that you had back in the cup. You had that line and stuff. So, but I guess as the season progressed, a lot of the riders were getting used to the track. Obviously being as controversial as it was being selected. But again, that Neil Potter Shield, I'll say me and Shad, we commented on that first leg,
Mhm.
and again it was that heat 16 in particular. I got to bring up again. Sorry, I got to bring up again. Again, it was
yeah, that's just triggered a memory.
Yeah. I was noticing that everyone on that third and fourth turn were going on that inside line, and no one could get it right. Then up comes Stefan and goes, right, here you go, I get second place, and to get you on the line as well. I mean, what was going through your mind when that happened?
Oh, I can sort of explain my decision to go wide because quite a lot of the time in training actually works as a move, but just for some reason in the match it just never sticks. I guess people like pull out just in case they're going to hit the fence or something. But I was going to go inside and follow Ads, but as soon as I saw Ads go inside, I thought he might try and break check me or something. So I've gone wide, and then I see Stefan take the inside because I thought he would have taken the outside line on me because it is faster. So I was in a sort of rock, paper, scissors match with both of them at once and got the better of me, unfortunately. And it looks embarrassing when it happens like that as well. With such like a rare move to happen in like a sort of crucial race.
Now, of course, the league season is now over. You now focus on Sunday with the World Championship Grand Final at Halifax. You're one of the, I dare say, one of the favourites to do well in that competition. Of course, you're in there with your dad as well. So again, the sibling rivalry as well going to take place. Have you done many laps on Halifax yet? Have you sort of worked out like where to ride and stuff, and what sort of bike to use?
I'd say out of everyone, I think I've probably done the most as of today. I'm feeling very confident.
I'll second that.
I feel good on it. If I get out front, I'd consider myself never likely to get overtaken. That could be famous last words, but I do feel comfortable when I'm on my own. In battles, it's a bit 50-50. Because especially on turns 1 and 2, like you can go wide and get overtaken by the inside. But if you take the dive line, you can overtake the outside, and it all gets a bit muddly on the first bend. It's quite a fun track, to be honest. You do get a few good races on it. I don't know if anyone will get a maximum just because of like, especially the bend 1 and 2, like I mentioned. It can sort of go anyone's way, and it's quite easy to get slowed down by the fence as well. So it could be a shock result possibly for someone else to win.
I mean, who do you see as your main opposition? I mean, we all know who's going to be the main ones, but who in your eyes the top contender, and then like a wild card, like who's going to maybe bring a surprise from the 16?
I'd say Ryan's been looking quite good. I haven't seen a single lap from Stefan or Marecki, so I'll be excited if I even get to see them before, see how they're riding. But I'm going to give you the biased result, and I'm going to think that my dad will do quite well. He's been putting in some good times. As soon as he gets to the front, he's very hard to pass. Just like he was at Big Gosh. He's always had really good form towards the end of the season, especially individually. So he will be my dark horse.
Well, everyone's entitled to their own opinion there, Cam. Had Shad any question for you guys?
You're saying he's got no chance.
And any questions you guys had?
Cam, I want to talk about the Grand Prix series.
I don't.
I just finished. I mean, at one stage, it was a 3-way race between Stefan, Marecki, and yourself. I mean, the first 5 rounds, there was nothing in it, and then the last 2 rounds, you had a nightmare. What happened? 6 points at Redcar and 9 points at Melbourne.
I think I got to the point in the end of the season where I was just over practicing the tracks. I'd say Gojov especially. I'm really surprised I won that because the only heat I won was the final. I was just sort of scraping in. But at Redcar, I think I checked. I did over 1,000 races, and by the time I got to the meeting, like the line just didn't even feel real anymore. Like I just couldn't hit it for the life of me. And I did have the opportunity to get into the semis in my last. I think there was 3 of us possible to get in, but only one of us would. And I got put in the grass like on bend 3 of lap 1. I was just like, isn't my night. And then at Melbourne, I did a lot of practice for again because I knew that Speedy was like hot on my heels after he had a pretty decent performance at Redcar and I had a stinker. So I did a lot of practice for Melbourne, and then he ducked out. So I wasn't taking the racing as seriously because I knew I couldn't get caught. But I probably would have liked to put up a better performance towards the end of the season.
If I know you, and I mean I practiced a lot with you,
Mhm.
probably practiced more with you than I did with my own team.
Felt
this
like it.
season.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you will still practice the same amount as you did this year.
I know.
You will. You just can't help yourself.
I know. It's just as soon as someone opens, I just get FOMO and I have to join
I'm
them.
the same. I'm exactly the same. It hasn't
Yeah.
helped me at all.
Mm.
You should do what Hans does. Have a nap before, about half an hour before the meeting starts.
I could never
And
do
then,
that. I have to have at least an hour and a half on the track.
What you want to do is go out in the afternoon, have 5 pints of lager, come home, have a sleep, get Alan to wake you up about 15 minutes before the meeting, and then you'll win your first 4 races. It works.
Oh.
If it works for ads, it can work for anyone.
Oh, brilliant.
dear.
I've tried
Talk-
drinking
talk-
before a meeting once, and I think I scored 3 points, so I won't ever be drinking again before.
Maybe not. Maybe not a good idea then.
Talking of Had, any questions from you, Mr. Haddington, or are you like on the fence here for this one?
Yeah. What I was going to say about your teammates, really, at Dragons, most of the team, majority, increased their average this season.
Mhm.
But who do you think improved the most as a rider?
It's hard to say because we've had a track that sort of brings out the best of some people on our team, and you don't get the best of the opposition. But I think obviously you'd have to say Squall and Reese. I remember I've been paired with Reese quite a lot, not so much Squall unless in like Heat 16. But Reese has just come on so much. Like we were getting like 5-1s against Panthers, like Mareki and Cappy together, and like you wouldn't think he was a 3.0 at the start of the season at all. But also got to congratulate Squall on increasing his average so much as well, and getting above me in 101 for the number 1 spot. So I'd say definitely those two. But obviously everyone in the team has increased their average apart from 101. But even he's still been putting in good performances, so I can't really discredit anyone at all.
Now, talking of your captain, Mr. Cam, we have actually got some questions from him.
Okay.
The first question was,
Here we go.
how big of a pain in the backside was your captain?
Apart from his like sarcastic remarks every once in a while, he's actually a very nice bloke. So it's been a pleasure to have him as a manager. Yeah, I can't really say much else. Can't put a word wrong about him.
Yeah, and I think it sort of goes into my next question really. Do you hope to be back with the Dragons in season 22?
I wouldn't mind it. I shouldn't say too much, to be honest, but I might have other plans in terms of a team,
Ooh.
as Tank will know, and that's all I will say on that.
Hello.
But if that something doesn't go through, I would be happy to be back at Dragons if I was allowed.
Are we tempted to say that potentially you're going to be a captain next season?
Not me as a captain. I can't really say anything. It's all behind closed doors at the moment. Nothing confirmed.
Hang on a minute. I know.
I'm not confirming anything.
I know.
You can guess all you want. I'm gonna tell you no.
Well, if we get team building up and running, then we know what's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Cam, any final words, mate? You want to say for the season, for the podcast, or anything like that? You want to any final words?
Not off the top of my head, but thank you for having me on. It's appreciated that I was chosen for the Dragons. Hopefully, I haven't offended anyone.
Thank you for naming him Rider of the Week.
And thank you for the Riders of the Week, Shads. I do appreciate it.
The amount of times you've been asking for that Rider of the Week, Cam, and Shad's.
No, I haven't been asking. I've just been suggesting.
more times than TJ did, anyway.
Yeah, because I've actually turned up to every meeting, so
yes.
he hasn't showed up to enough.
That is a fair point. Cam, it's been great having on board, mate. Thanks for popping in, and
thanks very much, lads.
season 22 is on the horizon, but of course the world champs come on Sunday. Wish you the very best luck for that one, mate. And yeah, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me on. Have a good night, guys.
Cheers, boss.
Cam.
See ya.
Bye, mate.
Cheers. Oh, that was good, wasn't it? That was really good.
Yes.
So of
Good
course we'll
questions
have.
there, Cam. Good questions. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We'll have, of course, next week's final team review of the Peterborough Spartans, where we're going to have Mr. Wolfie joining us. Yes, you heard that correct. He's going to make an appearance. So good to have Wolfie on board, giving us the final review of the season on episode 99. So our final bit of preview on tonight's show is going to be the all-important World Final at where is it? Halifax on Sunday, well, tomorrow night. 16 of the best riders in STF battle over 20 heats with one championship up for grabs, which is going to be that all-important World Championship crown. Now, of course, we have our very own Had and Shad riding in this meeting. So I'm going to start off by actually talking to our referee, Mr. Tank, who's obviously very kindly agreed to referee this meeting for us. Tank, big match, big names. What are you expecting?
Or I'm expecting a very entertaining meeting throughout. Obviously, the standout ones is your obvious Stefan. I think we could see a repeat of the Grand Prix between Stefan and Marecki, and I think Unknown's going to be a nuisance again, like he was in the qualifiers. And yeah, I think if I'm to be realistic, I think the top 3 or top 4 could be Stefan, Unknown, and Marecki, and possibly Ryan. I would go for. Having a look at the heats, I did like the look of Heat 6, because obviously you got Stefan, Racer Ryan, Lofty, and Rico, because that could be quite a nice one. And Heat 20, which has got Dreadlock, Stefan, Squall, and Marecki in it. So I think they are the 2 standout races. Of course, I'm hoping that Shaz and Has both have a good meeting and ruffle a few feathers and spring a surprise, hopefully. So yeah, it looks like it'll be a good meeting, and I've got ringside seat to watch it all unfold.
Absolutely. Also, I'm going to bring in our all 4 back colleagues as well for this one. Hadlington, I'll start with you first, mate. Starting on an outside gate on a track that's sounds like it's got a few decent lines to it. What's your take on the meeting on Sunday?
It's going to be a very tough one, I think, with the line of the track, especially going into the first and second bends. But yeah, just going to give it. I've got nothing to lose really, and as Tank said, if I can rustle a few feathers, and my aim is to get more than I've got in a world final before, which I think is 6. So if I can do that, I'll be more than happy. But just to be competing against in this kind of field it's going to be tough. But it's obviously after this season, it's who knows what can happen. I mean, it's one of those tracks where anyone can beat anybody, I think, on the night. So it's definitely going to provide some good racing.
And Shad, of course, you also start on an outside start position in the first race. Just give us your thoughts and how you think the meeting's going to go.
I think Cam mentioned it. Gating's going to be important here. I mean, there's a lot of grip on the bends, but the fences on the straights are not forgiving at all. I think you're going to see a few scrapes on the fences, on the straights, and the riders in the grass on bends 1 and 3. So I think Tank's going to be quite busy looking at replays. I think there's going to possibly be a few all 4 backs, with everyone diving in to get that inside line from the start. And I've practiced with Cam, I've practiced with Hads, Rico. I think the Saucier's been in Lofty tonight, and Steam 101. And I think all of them struggled at some stage on that track. So, like, I think someone mentioned earlier, there's not going to be any maximums, I don't think. I think the usual suspects is going to be, obviously, like everyone's mentioned them, Stefan, Ryan, and Marecki. I've got a sneaky feeling that Ryan's going to retain his title. I don't know. I think his gating's top notch. I mean, everyone knows Ryan's a fantastic gator, and the only one who really matches him for gating is Ads, and he's not in this.
Yeah.
If Ryan can get out the gate, I don't think even Stefan will be able to will be able to pass him. I mean,
Mm.
the only thing is Ryan's got 3 of the outside gates, so if he's going to go for that inside dive, he's got a fair way to go. But the track's quite narrow, so there's not as far to go into the bend from the outside gates as it will be on a wider track. So maybe the gates won't be so important this time round, being in such a narrow track.
Well, for me, I mean, they've all the names that I was going to say have been mentioned anyway. You know, you've got your main protagonist.
Craig's not in it.
Stefan, I'll rephrase that. Most of the protagonists. Stefan, Marecki, are they going to have the same sort of battle that they had in the BGP series? I hope they do. You know, I've got to put my Panthers hat on and, you know, cheer on Marecki. He's been fantastic all season. Only a couple of blips in league action, but he's been fantastic throughout. So Marecki's going to be, you know, my one to watch. Again, with same Catesy. You know, if Catesy can get a couple of points, then, you know, mix up with the big boys. He's not gonna embarrass himself. He's gonna, you know, score, you know, or just be on the pace. You know, it's good to see. And again, the big names again, that middle order: Cam, Racer Ryan. Obviously, Cam said to us that he's been getting a lot of laps in. So, you know, it just shows that he wants that championship to add to his collection. And then they got the unknowns: Dret Lotka, Fesky. You know, the ones that haven't ridden in the league this year, coming in for the World Championships and get through the final on the first go. So, you know, it's anyone's really. You know, it just depends how the track goes. Hopefully, there's no controversial decisions to make that Mr. Tank will have to do. Hopefully, everyone plays ball and you know, behaves himself. You think it'll probably be a few? You reckon?
Probably be a few, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it,
I think so.
but it's been easy going for the last few. This one I'm gonna have to be on point and
On
obviously
edge.
keeping just literally see it and have to call it as because it's all on
Yeah.
the line. There's no semi-finals. There's only a run off for the top 3 if it comes to that. Otherwise, you know what I mean. So everything's gonna matter in this one, and I'm under no illusions that, you know, if something happens, then people are going to be vocal. And fair enough, it's a world final after all.
Yeah.
I would like also to add, whilst I said who I thought obviously maybe in the top 4, obviously our guest tonight, Cam, I would love for him to do well, just so that for a bit of SDS history, that we can say that a father and son have won the World Championship, because obviously
Good point.
Rico won it in season 6, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah.
So if Cam can win it, then it would be the first father and son duo to win the World Championship in the game's history, and that would be quite something, I think. And if they were in, you know, by some miracle, I have to say it in that way, no disrespect to both of them, to see them both on the podium in this meeting, that would be something special as well. But that's your wild card and a bit out there, I guess, in a way.
Absolutely. Yes.
But it could happen, because Rico's done very well and he's the SCS champion. But yeah, you know, we got both the champions from both series.
He tends to do well in these individuals as well, doesn't he, Rico?
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll have to say battle stations on Sunday. I wish all 16 riders the very best of luck for tomorrow at Halifax, and may the best rider win. And of course, we'll have all the action and reaction on next week's show, episode 99 of the Awful Bat podcast. So I think we've reached the end of the show now, chaps. Before we go, if you like what you've seen and want to get involved with all things sliders related, there's our social media links: website, forum, Discord, YouTube, Facebook, and of course Twitter that gets updated on a regular basis. And if you need to find a place to go, I'm sure one of our wonderful members will point you in the right direction. And we'll look ahead to next week's show. Tank, what have we got?
Well, we've got the all-important World Championship Grand Final review, when we will know by then who has won it, and it should be quite entertaining to take a real in-depth look into that meeting. Then we shall be having the final team review of the season, which is the Peterborough Spartans, which will be done by Wolfie and a guest to be confirmed. And then, if you haven't already, make sure to get your team of the seasons into Haddington by Tuesday the 17th. And we shall have the team of the season revealed on next week's show. And that's next week's episode for you.
Thank you, Tank. Well, it just leaves me to say, as I always do, a good night to Haddington83.
Good night, everyone.
I will say a good night to Shads.
Good night, all.
A good night to Tank.
Good night, everyone.
And it's a good night from me, Chester 430. Best of luck to all the riders taking part in tomorrow night's World Championships. And ride hard, ride fair. And yeah, until next week, we'll see you then for episode 99 of All Four Back. Take it easy and good night.